Three-quarter time at the Sydney Cricket Ground, and it's the Swans by 30 points at the last change. 17-9, 111 to Carlton, 12-9, 81. 259 to 222 disposal-wise. Contested possessions fairly even as well. With the centre breaks, Sydney 18-7. Peter Everett having a good afternoon at the office. Lee Colbert on the boundary line.
Yes, I'm down here with Peter Berbakoff. Mate, just haven't been able to shake him, although your form's been pretty good.
Yeah, it's sort of been in bursts, really, with how they've been moving the footy. I mean, it's a bit of a game of chess, both sides trying to open up their forward line, and we know that they can score, you know, a lot of goals very quickly. So it's just a matter of making sure that we don't get sucked up into the middle of the play, and that we've got guys helping out Leo against Fev and some of the other runners that are bolting forward.
Well, you are looking after the backs. Ruzi had a bit of a chat to the boys. What do you have to say?
Well, it was more so about that, really. I mean, you know, if there's plenty of numbers down there, let's make sure that we're supporting against Leo. If you want to get sucked up into the midfield, let's just make sure that we're not cars and caravans around there and helping out.
Thanks for your time, mate.
Thanks, Lee.
Light at the tunnel, getting a little brighter for the Sydney Swans. They can see the 4 points. They can see September. .30-point lead at three-quarter time to Sydney. Players just moving back to position. We'd like to think that Carlton could fight their way back, but it's near on impossible here at the SCG.
Well, they stemmed the flow a little bit in that quarter. Inside 50s with 15 apiece. They were outscored by 3 points, 6-2 to 5-5, so they've had 10 shots on goal to 8. They've just got to make sure they capitalise on every opportunity that when they do go inside their 50, as they did on that occasion. Just missed a few easy shots. They'll be under enormous amount of pressure to make sure that they shut down the run. The Sydney Swans have controlled the corridor outside the first 15 minutes of the first quarter. They've controlled it since then.
Not only the run, but their ruck work. Everett, that quarter, 5 disposals, 4 marks, 8 hit-outs, 2 goals, 1. And Brett Kirk, sitting about 87 contested possessions and 34 clearances. Kirk on his own had 10 contested possessions and 6. Everett and Kirk have been absolutely sensational in this game of footy.
What I can't believe, though, there hasn't been, I think once for the day, someone's jumped third up to help their Carlton ruckman out.
Correct, right.
They've only won one last quarter for the year, the Blues. They led this game by 26 points halfway through the opening term. To start this final term, they're down by 30. From the ball up, O'Keefe tried to get it away. Quick kick out of the congestion. Lappin slapped it to Houlihan. Ball bounced unkindly for him. Carazzo too high on Kirk. And it was Brett Kirk, one of the players that really cranked it up a gear last week when Sydney were under siege. He was one of the men to drag them over the line, and he knows what's on the end of this. Made the commitment, got caught high.
And that was like technical error there.
And he slips it to Barry Hall. Can't mark. White. Handball out. Turns it over. Schneider. Kick one like that in the third term and slides it through to open the last.
Dennis Pagan be absolutely filthy about the 50-metre penalty, and then the handball back in through the corridor is just very, very dangerous. Just once again, poor decision-making under pressure, and you needed to start the quarter better, and to give a 15-metre penalty. The technique in the tackle was poor, got him high, but you accept that. But, gee, the 50-metre penalty, it just really hurts.
Also, the possession from White. If you're under pressure like that, if you're going to defend it wide. Not in the corridor.
Second goal of the afternoon to Adam Schneider. And the Swans had their biggest lead of the game from the ball up. Matthews got a kick away, half a kick. Carazzo caught. We'll get another ball up.
Swans still in tight.
Koutafidis versus Jolly at the moment, so Carlton look for a bit of mobility, but you definitely need a third man up in that situation with Kuta and Jolly.
Especially when there's big numbers. A free kick in the congestion there will go to, I think it's Houlihan. But with this lot of congestion, the third up jumper will punch the ball clear, and that's the real strength of the Sydney Swans. In tight, clear the congestion, give yourself a chance.
Mark Murphy, the recipient of the free, turns it over to Craig Bolton. Everett having a day out. O'Keefe. Hall's on the move. It's in front. Good fist by Waite, and that's deliberate. And the umpire says no, throw it in.
That was great work from O'Keefe. I mean, he's a half forward that pushes up around half-back, covers an enormous amount of territory, and has also got the class to put the ball in front of his leading forwards.
Koutafidis grabbed Jolly's arm in the ruck, and free kick off the ball.
Yeah, against Matthews, just was holding off the ball again for Murphy.
Murphy getting a couple of possessions early. Another free kick off the ball. This one to Fisher.
Yeah, a couple of free kicks there. I just saw Bryce Gibbs go off the ground. Lee Colbert, are you down there? Is he injured?
Yeah, he's just come off. He doesn't seem to be. He's not worried at all. But Teddy Richards just ate the ball and hit him right in the scone.
Fisher with the high bomb. O'Halpin.
Lappin mark. Was it Lappin? No.
I thought Lappin had it first.
Yeah, I thought he had a fair piece of it.
So the team mark's been paid. O'Halpin from 60. Big long launch. And thumped out of play.
That long kick there, Dwayne, it had to go to the fat side about 20 metres out from goals. OK to kick the ball long, but it's right on the goal line. It doesn't give the forward anywhere to move or run. It suits the backman.
Yeah, you can just punch it through with ease. And the ball in O'Halpin. Wiggins. Kick half smothered. O'Keefe in defence. Sends it to O'Loughlin. Dives, marks.
Yeah, had to take the mark. He was outnumbered 2-1 and had no support from anyone within about 50 metres. So important that he had the closing speed to take that chest mark.
To Schmidt. Fourth season on the list for Tim Schmidt. Important year for him. And he finds Barry Hall on the wing.
Very good duel, this one, Waite and Hall. Hall's found some ball, but Waite has made him earn every possession.
To half forward, Abbott raked it in. Off to O'Keefe. High inside 50. McVeigh getting back. He can play on and goal. How easy do you like it?
Just as my co-commentator throws the pen with disappointment, it was far too easy. It was a long high ball in which O'Keefe drove forward and McVeigh had a lot of time to sit under it. Should have been better. There was numbers around to make a spoil, and then to drop your bundle and make the play on was very disappointing.
When you've got an open forward line like that, Heath Scotland had to get goal side of McVeigh. He spectated the ball and allowed McVeigh, said, OK, I'm going to open up the goals for him so he can kick an easy goal.
2-goal afternoon for Jared McVeigh in game number 73. 123 plays 81. And the Swans know they've got it now. 4 points are theirs. Schmidt tried to grab it. Koutafidis does. To Houlihan. Walker. Scotland. Fisher. Strong hands. In front of Ted Richards. Houlihan short. Can play on. Need to shoot from 50. Sends it long. No one's in the goal square for Carlton. Jolly held it long enough.
It was just a nothing kick, that one. It was sort of to that 1-2 metres out from goal. Yeah, they had to have a real ping or pull the ball to 15-20 metres out, just so hopefully a leading forward could get to the drop of the ball.
Davis free in the back pocket. Malcheski runs through trouble, turns it over. Poor handball from Bannister. Young tried to make it OK. He missed the target as well. Schneider. McVeigh. They're just pulling the wings off them at the moment. Just playing with them. Ablett holds it up on the wing. All the way back to Leo Barry.
Yeah, the Swans are always happy to chip it around through the middle until something opens up. There's space over the back for Leo Barry to drive it into the forward line to Barry Hall.
Barry Hall says send it short. He sends it too short. Thornton, Walker, Houlihan. Not a lot to go to. Forced to hold it up.
Fev's
Keeps
got a bit
looking.
of space up. He's lost his opponent because I don't think he chased Leo Barry down the field.
So Leo Barry will be a little bit spent now. Forced to spoil, hits Young, who can load up from 50 if he wants to.
Now's the time to go long, just to the top of the square. He's got a one-on-one.
Ross Young spears it.
That's it.
Brad Fisher takes the mark and can get himself a little bit of a consolation prize. He's tried hard all afternoon, Brad Fisher. Kicked one in the second term.
He's looked like the only leading forward that's likely to take a mark and grab the game by the scruff.
In fact, he's got 2 goals for the afternoon. So lining up at goal number 3. Shouldn't miss from here. Casually. Makes the goal umpire do a bit of work, but it's there.
That's a very good goal there from Brad Fisher. Kicked his 3rd goal. Great forward movement. Equally good kick. Just kicked the ball, weighted it perfectly. Allowed Brad Fisher to run onto the ball, run and jump and high. And that is a magnificent mark there from Brad Fisher. They're just hanging in there, Carlton. They just need to get obviously 3 or 4 goals in a row now, but it's very difficult. Everett's had a spell on the bench, back into the ruck, big Peter Everett.
Eight minutes in, final term. Dennis Pagan under siege at the moment from all angles. From the ball up, Everett knocks it down. Matthews caught. Simpson couldn't trap it. Bauer got it out. Carazza loops the handball wide, cut off by Jude Bolton. Always where Angels fear to tread. Jude Bolton gets it out to Kennelly. O'Loughlin, Ablett. And now Kennelly, who ran on.
Their backs are really starting to run now, Sydney Swans.
That was a perfectly weighted kick. Just pulled the kick, just a 30-metre chip pass.
And heads toward the attacking 50 to Malcheski.
Well, he started half back. This is his 23rd disposal. 12 handball received, 6 inside 50s, going for his 2nd goal.
Well, he hasn't
kick for goal normally.
He hasn't got a premiership medallion, as we said earlier. Most of his teammates have. Emergency in the grand final win. Oh. And he sends it home. The Swans have it wrapped up.
You think he's going to be a part of this team for a long time. No wonder they've re-signed him. He's been a very exciting prospect, especially this year, but over the last 18 months. Exciting player, very good athlete. His skills are silky clean, and he has just got the poise now, and he fits in. It looks like he's got some leadership material about him as well. Very impressive player, and anyone that can take shots from outside 50 and convert them like he does is a valuable asset.
They're a wide and varied bunch, this Sydney Swans outfit. Ty Kennelly, preparation for games on Sundays. He goes to church. Before the game, Nick Malcheski listens to Korn on his iPod. From the ball up. Handball out to Scotland. Free kick's been found. And it'll come back to the wing. Schneider. Sure to get to Malcheski. He wants another one. From 60. Barry Hall's on the move. He leaves it for O'Loughlin. Either of them could have marked it. And Barry Hall says you can have it.
He's the best player on the ground, Malcheski, no doubt. The way he's able to run, but his ball use. And why wouldn't you give it to him in that situation there? He turn and go, and O'Loughlin was already in the spot. That's a magnificent passage of play. Good forward play, good midfield play, Lynchy.
A bit of cloud over this man during the week, had the flu. And there was a player on standby before the game, but he's got through the game pretty well. And they'll be very happy the way he's pulled up.
He's kicked 26 for the year. He's now got 27. And the Swans have the 4 points.
10 goal kickers again, Lynchy. They really do spread the workload, Sydney. A couple of multiple goal kickers in Schneider, Kirk, Malcheski. Now O'Loughlin, Davis with 3. But they're a potent forward line. Always had a great impact. O'Keefe's been okay, but it's their ability to share the load. They give it to the player in the best spot in any situation. And O'Loughlin was the man in the best spot there, and he kicked truly.
Game-wise, he's the greatest Swan of all time. Paul Roos, heartbeat really gets above about 65 beats a minute, even when he's under pressure. From the ball up, Everett down, Matthews back to Everett. Dempster lurking inside 50. Ball bounced kindly for him, really. Back onto it. Barry Hall, a little don't argue, into traffic, out to Fosdyke, snaps around the body. Hits the post.
Nice little snap. They've been much more efficient inside their forward 50 this week. Last week against Fremantle Dockers, they kicked 11 goals, 23 the Sydney Swans for 89 points with the 59 inside 50s. And so far this week, the 21-10. So complete turnaround and just shut Carlton out. Inside 50s are up to 51.
Wiggins wide. He was hoping for a help, and Simpson grabbed by Fosdyke, gets the free.
Mind you, it was different conditions last week. It was pretty drizzly rain and fairly cold.
Bauer. Kennedy. Walker. Lappin inside 50. Got hands on it, couldn't mark it. Kirk the crumb. Out towards Leo Barry, who couldn't grab it. Matthews does. Jude Bolton, Fosdyke. Beautiful movement. Nick Davis, no one to go too long.
Great vision.
Pokes it up towards Dempster. Can't mark. Fights on, but wait. Grabs it. Long kick back towards Young, who's got a paddock. If it sits for him. Kirk's coming at him. Plenty of time. Chips. Eddie Betts missed it. And the Swans on the rebound again.
The kick was to the smallest man on the field. It was 3-on-1.
3-on-1.
Poor choice.
Not a great option.
Goods with the 1-2. Finds his old mate Michael O'Loughlin. It's a party at the moment. Jude Bolton sends it along in the Davis direction, getting back Scotland. Fist of Houlihan. Young tried to knock it out, didn't. McVeigh, he can have a snap from there. Centers it to Barry Hall, not 15. Play on, around the body from Big Bad, beautiful Barry. Misses.
It's good work. Heard the umpire's call of play on, and he's got the strength just to fend off his opponent and have a snap on goal.
It's great vision from McVeigh to hold.
There's been some very good decision making for the Swans, which is contrasted at the other side of the ground with Carlton.
Scotland plays on straight into Jude Bolton. Out of play, will get a ball in.
That's been a problem all day, getting out of their kick-outs from the defensive half. Really struggled. They've played on to them. The kicker's played onto himself on a number of occasions, just hasn't worked.
50 points the margin. Ball back into play. Walker got the handball up. Jude Bolton diving in. They're still playing the Swans as if scores are level. Matthews, Schmidt, missed Hall. Waite missed the ball, got grabbed, not in possession. And Jared Waite to take the free.
And a 50.
Barry Hall's just given the umpire a bit of a spray. And if that was the other way, I wouldn't have got the free kick. And, oh, he might get another one here. He's giving him a fearful break.
Kick wide. Bannister sends it inside 50. High ball. And a free kick off the ball. And it's downfield again for another bit of talk, is it?
Yeah, it's from the runner. I reckon it was from the runner. The umpire thinks Hayden Kennedy there looked at the runner and said, you can't say that, and we'll pay the free kick. So I think Paul Roos will inquire to where that 50 came from, but I think it might have been the runner.
Well, we've had a runner already suspended this year for saying a few words on the footy field. And the Bombers have had to go with one runner for a couple of weeks. Lappin lines up and gets himself a little consolation prize.
250-metre penalties. What does Roosy do if it is the runner, Lynchy? Does he drag the runner?
No, you just make him stay out there and run and run. The umpire put his hand up. I mean, the Carlton player there made the most of the free kick. Now, it was either the runner or Brett Kirk was around the area. Couldn't imagine that it would be Kirk who made the the call, but you're certainly looking in the direction of the runner. So no, it'd be a discussion afterwards over a quiet cup of tea, I would have thought.
Only had the 8 possessions this afternoon, Matthew Lappin. Riders kicked 3 goals.
That's all you need from a crumbing half forward.
18 minutes travelled final term. 24,858 here at the SCG, and they're watching a couple of their stars, in fact 3 of their superstars of the afternoon, Hall, Kirk and Malcheski, have a sit down. Hall, of course, looks to have been dragged for that indiscretion. Half forward, no one going anywhere. Lee Colbert's down on boundary level. Did you hear what Barry Hall said, Lee?
He's not real happy, boys, I tell you. There's not too many blokes going near him either. Andrew Ireland copped a nice old spray, and Kirky as well, so I'm not sure. He's a bit upset, Daz.
Okay, we'll get the lip readers in.
You can understand why he was a bit disappointed with the free kick as well. There wasn't a lot in it.
Bentic in the middle of traffic. Jude Bolton lays the tackle. And we'll get another ball up.
After looking at the replay of the free kick, whether it was there or not, Kirk had the ball and give it back to another Carlton player. I wonder the umpire give it because Kirk didn't give it directly back to Jared Waite.
May have been.
Goods. How's that for a thump? To Schneider, to Davis. Little gift to Ablett. Back to Davis. Short to Everett. Out of the textbook.
It's all happening for Paul Rose.
That was a training drill.
It certainly was, and he's pulling the right strings in the coaching box. He had Everett in the ruck, he had him forward, but this is corridor football at its best. When you have run and carry, that's the Swans imprimatur, and Everett took a great mark.
Lines up, Peter Everett. What an afternoon for him. 4 goals for the afternoon for the Spider.
The Spider kicks his goal and comes from the ground. And also just a little thing that maybe Carlton may focus on afterwards. It was a shot from 35 metres out. He's going to kick the goal, but there was just no one forward of the ball. There was no one on the goal line. You just never know as a defensive half. You might as well go back, stand there, just in case he doesn't flush it off the boot.
And they pulled the wrong rein with the best player on the ground because Everett's stats, 14 disposals, 30 hit-outs, 9 marks, 4 goals, 1.
Well, he's a rival for best on ground honours, as you said, Danny. He's having a rest. Barry Hall back on.
Well, he won the argument, Bazzo, when he got off.
Massive round of applause. I'm not sure if it was for Barry Hall coming back on or the applause was for Spider, who came off after what is a genuine best on ground afternoon.
It was definitely for Spider, boys.
Thanks for that, Colby.
The crowd were going mad.
Carruzzo around the body, out of play on the full.
Now, Barry Hall is actually having a chat with Hayden Kennedy right now, so Brucey might have to get him off the ground again. He's still pointing around, saying, there, was it me you paid the 50 against or not? Or something like that, I would have thought.
Misheard him. He's just explaining, he said, particularly nasty weather. O'Keefe. Jolly. Outmarks Murphy, as you would expect. Into time on now, final term. 143 to 93, so it's a spanking. It's been a massive turnaround. The Blues, if you just joined us, led by 26 points early in the first term, or about halfway through the opening term. It's been all Sydney since then. Leo Barry forced to get on with it in the Barry Hall direction. Flies. Fosdyke keeps it alive. Dempster can't grab it. Houlihan hacks it out of the area. Leo Barry and Favola. He keeps Favola to a poor afternoon, Leo Barry. Big fist. Davis, Malcheski. Barry Hall with the fist. Knocked it down towards Schneider. Spins around. He can have the snap. It goes to Barry Hall. Waltzes in. Welcome to the party. Send out some 100,000 sandwiches.
Again, goal side of the direct opponent. Lynchy, great play from Schneider. Jared Waite contested the ball. We see the kick from Malcheski goes to a really dangerous spot. Jared Waite contests the ball, gets involved, goes to ground. His direct opponent, Hall, pushes forward. Look what happens. Must hold your feet in the contest. Played a fair game, Jared Waite, but Barry Hall, very dangerous player. Great result. Back on the ground, kicks a goal.
Well played by Schneider. Unselfish.
Be an interesting game next week. Subiaco, West Coast Eagles v Sydney Swans.
A grand final rematch in the last 2 years. Fosdyke out of the middle. Good fist by Kirk. Waite, Thornton. Good mark to Young.
The last 3 games decided by a point.
You might go
Sydney,
back
West Coast.
even further than that.
Might be 4, actually.
They've been great rivals, and the West Coast under a bit of pressure at the moment. The Sydney Swans have been under pressure all year. They're finding form just as the West Coast are dropping it.
They're starting to find their form, got a fit and full list back, whereas the West Coast are going the other direction.
Wide ball. Mark Murphy. Centering kick to half forward. Koutafidis couldn't jump. Goods. Matthews. He holds it up. The local boy, a zone selection when he was taken by the Swans, Ben Matthews. They want their zone back, the Sydney Swans. They're asking for some recruiting concessions. Little chip kick to Fosdyke is good. He sends it long. Hall and Schneider. Hall with a big fly.
Wasn't left
An
wondering.
illegal jump.
He won't give Hayden Kennedy a spray for that one, I don't think. Wouldn't, if his groins are sore, it wouldn't have done the groins too much good, but it's a good sign that actually he's attempting those.
Spot on. It's a terrible kick. Davis cuts it off. Schmidt. Schneider. Almost outmarked, but didn't go to ground. Dishes it up to Brett Kirk. They love him here. He gives it back to Barry Hall. Bounces. Goals. Just rolls it through. Casual number 4 for Barry Hall.
That last play has been indicative of Carlton's day. They've made some poor decision mistakes. Execution's been down. The ability under pressure to execute their skills has dropped away as the game's gone on, and nothing worse there. As a fullback, Waite was nowhere to be seen from Barry Hall, and he's got 2 goals late from the goal square, and that really hurts his stat sheet. Waite had been good for most of the day, but Hall just getting away on the scoreboard now.
31 goals for the season now for Barry Hall. And again, Carlton have conceded a massive score. Jolly thumps it down, tackled by Davis. And Dennis Pagan's not going to enjoy his week again this week. 4 minutes from time. 155 plays 93. 62-point lead to Sydney. They are well and truly back in town. Kick inside 50. Bouncing ball. Bannister. Caught by Goods. Wraparound tackle. Superb. Ball up.
Sputter, you've been in this unfortunate position. What sort of lonely place it is for the coach? I mean, the media sort of drumming up all the hype about maybe a coaching change at Carlton. It must be very difficult.
Very lonely, Lynchy. You have lunch, dinner, breakfast in a telephone box, mate. With all your mates. That's how many can fit in there. But look, it is tough, and the support staff, they can support the coach as much as he likes, but it is a very lonely time. One thing you do learn is who your mates are, and that's not sure whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but you know who your friends are when you're going through these troughs.
Possession 17 for Andrew Carazzo. Doesn't get his first goal of the afternoon. A miss. Dennis Pagan, who, as I said earlier, has served both clubs. Played for South Melbourne and has been a coach here for the Blues now. In some good times and now some poor times. Finding it tough and tougher by the week. Walker, Favola. One of the men who's made it tough for Dennis Pagan at times. Brendan Favola kicks around the body and pulls one out of the hat.
It's a good goal from Favola in the end, a good finish. I'm not sure whether he deserved it though, because Leo Barry made all the play. He ran up the ground, and there's the turnover. We see Leo Barry not in the screen. Favola didn't leave the forward 50, so for mine, that's an injustice.
It is. They made that very difficult as well. The handball was poor, but yeah, I'm with you there. You've got to chase and got to work hard right to the last second of the game.
2-4 for Brendan Favola, his return game from the one-game internal suspension for disciplinary reasons. And the ball up. Fosdyke around the body. 3 minutes from time. Thornton comes to the open side. Scotland. Chip kick towards the wing. Jolly can't get there in time to make the spoil on Kennedy. Favola calls for it long.
It's been a big job for Kennedy and O'Halpin against Jolly and Everett, who've been in very good form now. The two Sydney big men dominated the hit-outs, got big numbers around the ground. Hit-outs 51-20 in favour of the Swans.
Leo Barry, he's been good on Favola today, Leo Barry, and collected 10 possessions of his own. Short kick from Fosdyke. O'Keefe tackled. Carazzo harasses him toward the line, and we'll get a ball in 2:21 from time.
When you look at those hit-outs, Lynchy, it's no wonder Sydney win the clearances, 43-32. Not a lot the young Carlton midfield can do when you've got a dominance in the ruck like that.
And the ball in. Kirk. McVeigh. Schneider. He can go all the way. Have a bounce. Run in. He's got two. Grabs himself a third. And a high five.
Great goal from Schneider. Deserved that. Got omitted 2 weeks ago and was obviously a short back inside, but he's come back into this team full of hunger. His performance today with all the runs. We see McVeigh has been a very good player also, but when you see Schneider running forward to the centre without much pressure, there's only going to be one result there, and that is a goal. Very good player, dangerous player. They're hitting reform at the right time of the season again, the Swans.
Kicked 1 goal for last week, Adam Schneider. Was disappointed with his accuracy. 3 straight this afternoon. A 25-goal afternoon for the Swans. Kirk going nowhere from the ball up.
Dwayne, the Sydney Swans have won 7 out of 8 games when they've kept the opposition to 290 disposals or less. At the moment, Carlton have had 282, so they're on track again.
283.
Well, they're going to ruin your stat here in a minute, Spud.
No 285 with 1 minute 44 left. 61-point lead for the Sydney Swans, approaching full time.
Now, Koutafidis, and when Koutafidis was at his best, he was running through the midfield. He was normally the third-up jumper. He can't do it because Malchaski's taken him away from the contest, but there's no one there.
And the ball in. Carazzo shoots out a handball. O'Keefe half-held. Forced to lay a tackle on Fisher. And get a ball up. Just outside attacking 50 for the Swans.
Huge numbers around the ball now. Sydney just want to close the game up.
Sydney just want to get away with no injuries in the last 90 seconds. Free kick. O'Halpin.
Yeah, Jolly just threw O'Halpin out of the contest.
It all started well for O'Halpin. Kicked a goal in the opening term, and it's gone downhill from there to half forward. Kirk just keeps on keeping on. Brett Kirk. Jude Bolton likewise finds McVeigh. Davis leads short. Fosdyke leads wide. He hits Davis, who marks on 50, and he can load up.
Spud wants him to work the clock down here. 286 possessions. They're chipping it around, risking the turnover. Call play on.
Malchaski told to get on with it, not 15. Back to Davis. He pokes it. And O'Keefe marks on 50. And he can have the last possession of the game.
Well, that was 10.5 metres, that kick. That was a chip kick.
Low time umpire. Kick a point. Carlton will get a few on the way out.
So the 19 possession afternoon, Ryan O'Keefe. He's not on the scorecard yet for his first. It's long, but it's not strong. It's a behind. 62-point lead to Sydney.
Emphatic victory for the Swans, and they're going to scare some teams in the run-up to September. You know what? Don't want to play Sydney Swans, and you wouldn't want them lowly ranked in the finals and meet them first round of the finals either.
Well, they've got a couple of good ones in the twos. They can't get a game at the moment. Buchanan.
Oh, Spud's got his little stat.
Kirk, he chips it. 62-point victory to the Sydney Swans. Ted Richards tries to add to it with a long shot after the siren. But they are back, the Sydney Swans. The pointy end of the season not far away. Some of their big guns hitting form. Barry Hall back in town this afternoon. Nick Davis playing well. Grand final replay against the West Coast Eagles next week, and that might be a true indicator as to exactly how well the Sydney Swans are playing. But an emphatic victory this afternoon, and their list of goal kickers has been impressive this afternoon.
Well, 11 goal kickers, Dwayne. Not only that, multiple goal kickers with Schneider, Kirk, Malcheski, O'Loughlin, Davis, Hall, Everett with 4, and McVeigh. So you've got 7 players.
Big afternoon at the office for the Swans. They win by 62.